60 seconds to go. And well, it's that time again. Zwift Insider Tiny Race, number 1. Today's class that we're racing in is pretty tight. From what Mark says, it was other people here. Tandem, man, I gotta give a shout out to you, man. You pushed me. And man, you're good. The rest of them are good. Mark, all of y'all are good. I gotta admit, this first one was, it set the pace for the race. First of all, let me just say that. This thing was fun. If not for my second race, this would have been a very, very good day. But let's just say, this was very, very, very much what I've always wanted in a race. And I'm thanking y'all for giving that, pushing that race. So with that said, we got 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're off. And on this race, my goal was to get out in front, because there was a nice heavy pack here. And I thought, well, if I can get in front of most of them, you see, I'm pushing the watch. I'm pushing 600, and I'm trying to stay up there 107, 108 pedals a minute. I'm pushing 130, 630, 600 watts. And I'm just decided that the group is big enough, it's 18 of us. It's big enough that I can just push on this thing, and I'm just gonna push and see what kind of lead I can build up in on this race. I don't know if there's a lot of hills, but somehow I end up finding this one. I can't remember how, but when I found it, I realized it wasn't a lot of hills in this thing. So I knew that if I can get out to a decent lead, there are some, but they're not enough to really kill me if I don't have a pace going. And since this thing kind of dodged a lot of them, I really liked it. Now, what I will say about this race is, I tried to race this morning at 5 a.m. and for some reason, when I opened up my Mac and I started running, it gave me a totally different screen. It had everything logged on, but it would not let me into the race. I don't know why. I was sitting there for like 10 minutes before the race started trying to get this thing to let me in. And finally, when it finally got ready to let me in, it said the race had started. So I kind of just blew it off and said, well, I'll come back at 11, ran some errands, missed that one. So the only time I had to race was 5 o'clock, which from now on, if I missed the 5 a.m. and 11 in the morning, I will never do this again. I don't know why, but I guess because of the day, the way I run, the way I move, I was tired when I started this race. I did a 15-minute stretch with Trina on the mirror, on the Lulu Simmons studio, which is the mirror. I did a 15-minute stretch for a lower body stretch just to get my legs ready for this race. I was just tired before I started, and you can see my heartbeat, even though I'm pushing out, my heartbeat is 150, 160. It's 160 for most out this race. I think it even climbed even higher than that. But I had to do that. Not saying that it's wrong, but I had to keep my heart rate and my pedals that high, because if you look, I only have a 7-second lead. And G. Allen, man, you good. D. Crawford, you're good. Mike Alexander, I think he won the next one. I may be wrong. It may have been Martin. But man, y'all, this is what racing is about on here. So I do regret that I don't want to race this in the evening, which I think I have more Americans in this race and British people in this race. But I think more Americans are in the 5 o'clock afternoon, because a lot of us just like to sleep in, or a lot of us are busy at that time in the morning at 5 a.m. But the 5 a.m. this morning I really wanted, because I think in the Class D, there were close to 50 people. And I just wanted, I like when it's that many people. But on here, as you can see, I'm steady climbing. I think I hit this hill, it hit me out of nowhere. So it kind of slowed me down, or it's a steady climb. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was just a steady climb. And so it brought me down. And as you can see, I had an 11-second head start as I got to the hill. But as I started climbing, I realized I cannot come down too far on this thing. So you can see I am powering through this hill, because they're not playing on my tail. I know that, so I gotta power. And luckily for me, this is not a major hit. It's a real steep power hit hill, but it allowed me to get back up. And you can see as I'm coming over the hill, D. Crawford got on my butt. And I was like, okay, cool, I can't let him stay there. And I can see his wattage at 4.8, 3.5. He must have been tired when he came up the hill trying to catch me. And so I said, you know what? It's time for me to get back out ahead. And I just powered back into this thing. And I'm at 165 beats a minute. And I know I am wearing myself out. But I am refusing to give in. I even see Jay Cochlear, I'm sorry if I mess up your name. But I see him and D Crawford right behind me. So the chase is on. This is a chase. This is not a race no more. They're chasing me. And I feel like as the leader, I'm gonna give you something to chase. So I just keep going. I'm sacrificing the other 3 races because I'm gonna win this race. That's what I'm thinking in my head. Damn the other 3 races, that's the future. I'll get to it when it comes. But till then, I'm just gonna run hard at this one. And we were just riding. And I got 1 second ahead of them, and I'm just pushing. I'm not gonna give up. I'm just pushing. And I keep looking at the second, I go, well, he's drafting behind me. And it's something I remember that PW South said, that if I could rest a little bit before I get to the end, I can push. So I figured they're drafting behind me. So if I can keep up a pace where they feel comfortable enough just to stay behind me, but not push myself too much and allow my heart rate to slowly come down, as you notice, it is slowly ticking down. Even though I'm close to 500 watts, it's slowly ticking down. It was almost 170 at one point. So it's slowly coming down. And what I'm doing is just trying to keep them close enough so they don't pass me, but further enough away that so when the ends come, when I kick it, I can kick it and keep them behind me. So we're riding, and I'm going, okay, cool. I'm coming up and down, I'm going around. As long as I don't have a devastating 10-pointer again, a 10%er come up on me again, I'm fine. And I hit this 1% and I look down, and I'm starting to pull away again. It's not a long way. I don't get to lead these fellas on this one. No, this is not gonna be one of them things where I go, man, I'm just gonna leave these guys way behind and just finish this thing at my own pace. No, these guys, if you look at the dots, they are on my butt. They're not letting me have this by myself. They refuse to let me have this first place without any contestant, with anybody challenging me. They were gonna challenge me on this one. I remember to hit the bombs on here. Thanks, y'all for giving me the thumbs. I tried to send them back. But this is one of them races where you get into, you go, okay, I got 8 seconds. I look up, I got 1.4 miles left in this race. I'm gonna keep rolling. I see D Crawford and I see D, and I'm gonna call you by the first initial. I see D and J and E fighting each other for the next spot. And I'm going, okay, cool. They're fighting each other. Let me just see if I can pull away from them. Because there's 5 of them sitting there right together. Actually, I look down, it's about 6 of them. And I'm going, okay, cool. But I know they're right behind me because they're fighting each other. They're pushing me. I got my wattage down to about 450, 90 pedals a minute, but I'm still having to keep my heart rate up because they're on my tail. There is no playing around with them going, I'm gonna ease off, and I've done the thing where I stood up for a second on the pedals just to let my legs. No, it's none of that this time. This is all out push. This is an all out battle. If I mess up, if I hit a slight incline and slow down too much, they will be with me the whole time. This race is not long enough for me to put a whole bunch of distance in. And you see I hit that 7% and they start to cut into it. And right now at a mile left, I'm thinking to myself, do I keep pushing or do I just try to stay where I'm at? I say, you know what, I'm gonna stay where I'm at. I'm just gonna let them slowly catch up so I can push at the end. I'm pushing, but I'm not putting out the 600 watts. But I am putting up the pedals and I'm still at 157 beats per minute. I have not dropped. I'm going, okay, cool. But I keep looking at them and they're coming after me again. They're on my tail. We have less than a mile left and I'm praying that it's a level sprint that I can give a chance to get away from them. But they are on my tail. 3 seconds, 4 seconds. They're right behind me. You ever been racing and you just know somebody's breathing down your neck? I know they're there. I want to change the camera on so I can just see them. I know I need a mirror on I need a review mirror at this point on this bike because they're right behind me and I know that. And they're not allowing me to catch a breath. Flats are my thing. They're my thing to run on, but if I don't have a decline where I can actually catch my breath, I'm at 163 beats a minute. If you ever seen me race, I'm only that high when I'm really got somebody I got to race with. And I'm racing these guys, I'm trying to put more distance in between us. And I know eventually somebody's gonna have a kick. So they're not that far. 6 seconds is not, it's a long way, but it's not a long way. It's not no, I can't take this down. You've seen 6 seconds from me vanish in like 3 seconds. So it's not something that I can just linger around. And I see a little incline coming and I know they finna cut into this, if this incline steep real quick, but at any kind of incline with my weight, they will cut into that lead. So as I come over, I look ahead, and I'm kind of shivering because I'm thinking that's a hill. And I'm thinking in my head, that may be a big hill. Because these have been kind of surprising. They look like they're not that steep, and then when you get into them, they just sharply go up. So I don't remember if this was one, but then I realized, oh, it's not a hill, it's just a little hump. And as we come to it, I'm within a quarter of a mile from the finish. I look down, and I noticed that they're putting in a kick. So now I got a kick, because I see that their numbers are 4.6. MK is at 4.3, 4.6. The one behind him is at 2.3. So I know I cannot, if I would have just tried to come in coasting, they would have ate me up. He's coming up on me. And I finished just before they can get to me. That was a race. I enjoyed that race. If you like my material, like my content, please like and subscribe. Thank you for following me. I'm almost at 25 subscribers. Help me get there. Thank you very much. My goal is 100. Once I get to 100, I will try to do lives. Thank you, and I'll see you on the next one.